So 10 years ago, we'd made less than 3,000 cars. And here we stand 10 years later, having made over 3 million. You know, there's a lot of talk of competition among electric vehicles, but really, the EVs are, electric vehicles are taking market share from gasoline cars. Just like if it's a pro sports team, where are the ace players going? Okay, probably that team will win. So we put a lot of effort into ensuring that the best engineers in the world want to work at Tesla. And my guess is Optimus will be more valuable than the car long term. In fact, it'll, I think, turn the whole notion of what's an economy on its head.
Tesla Throwback Thursday. Today we take a look at Tesla's annual meeting of shareholders 2022. As always, this will be a hypercut, all the pertinent information, trying to glean a little insight about what the company has said in the past to chart a path to see where they might be going here in the future. Without further ado, let's get to it.
Yeah, welcome to GIGA, Texas. We'll go over, kind of recount the year. It's been an amazing year. The Tesla team has done amazing work. It's like, what do you enjoy most in life? Being able to work with a super talented group of people and to create great products and manufacture those products and deliver them to people and make people happy from those products. That's one of the best things in life. We're aiming to achieve a 2 million vehicle run rate by the end of the year.
For the calendar year of 2023, Tesla was right at that 2 million cars produced. Now, if Tesla didn't have to prepare for the future product roadmap, they could easily produce 2 million vehicles a year. But the retooling of factories, the ambitious goal of 20 million vehicles by 2030, Tesla's looking big picture.
Also worth noting, just recently in the last few weeks, we made our 3 millionth car. It's pretty wild to think, like, 10 years ago, where things were, you know? 10 years, August 2012, we'd made 2,500 Roadsters, a couple of hundred Model S's-ish, but less than 3,000 cars. So 10 years ago, we'd made less than 3,000 cars. And here we stand 10 years later, having made over 3 million.
Definitely sobering when you weren't supposed to make it at all.
And actually, this is one of the cleanest exponentials I've, you know, it looks like one of those sort of, you know, business plan presentation things that doesn't actually come true, but, you know, you see it in the venture capital business plan situation. But it's actually true. That's the amazing part. Yeah, we're doing okay on demand. Thank you. Yeah, it's great here. I love California too, to be frank. I'm gonna be clear, you know. Oh, come on. We got great teams in California, and we got a great team in China and Shanghai, and a great team in Berlin and Germany and Europe. It's so.
I love all my. A little politicking there from Elon. I'm sure he loves all his children.
And I thought it's interesting to look at the cumulative profitability since inception. And this approximately tracks to sort of mental pain, actually. Psychic damage. I'm just very proud of the fact that we've actually been able to produce more cash than we have spent. And have positive retained earnings and be worth our salt, essentially. And that's a really big deal. It's very hard. I think it's going to go up from here. You can see we obviously had some challenges there in 2017. Then our free cash flow generation has been very good, trending upwards. And this is really before autonomy really kicks in. We have autonomy to some degree. Solving autonomy is will really be an amplification of free cash flow to a degree that is, you know, you run the numbers and it's like, wow, can it really be that crazy? But it could be that crazy. This year, I swear. Anyone here in the FSD beta program? And it's really interesting because we're effectively solving an important aspect of artificial intelligence, real-world AI for self-driving, which, when you think about it, kind of is what's needed to solve self-driving. because how is the road system designed? It's designed for a biological neural net and eyes. And so naturally, the thing that would therefore work, the silicon analog, is cameras and silicon neural nets. I definitely want people out there, talented people who are working on AI to consider working at Tesla, because I think we're solving just a very important part of AI, and one that can ultimately save millions of lives and prevent tens of millions of serious injuries by driving just an order of magnitude safer than people.
There's a wide range of guesstimations on when full self-driving will be actualized. When will it be X times safer than a human? When will Tesla be able to monetize this technology? First robotaxi fares? I currently have the first Tesla robotaxi fares occurring at the end of 2024. Subject to change, obviously. Even back in 2022, my date for first robotaxi fares was 2024. I definitely haven't seen anything to move up that timetable, but I also haven't seen anything to push it back. When I get my hands on AI Student Driver FSD Beta version 12, try that thing out for a month, I may reassess my estimate on the first Tesla robotaxi fares. All I've got to say is the rate of progress is absolutely staggering.
When we started out here, we were told electric cars were impossible, and even if you could make an electric car with a couple hundred miles range, then nobody would buy it anyway, because people just love gasoline cars. It was dumb to start a car company, and then dumb squared to do an electric car company. And we were told, you're never going to make money, etc. And we didn't for a while, but now we have the highest operating margin in the whole industry. Exactly. Tesla is not just a car company. Tesla is many companies in one. And we're as much a software company as we are a hardware company. And software both in the car and obviously with neural net training, but also software in the factory as well. There's a lot of talk of competition among electric vehicles, but really the EVs electric vehicles are taking market share from gasoline cars.
Ding, 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 ding. Tell him what he's won, Johnny. Your mother. Right. The United States has just a little bit over a 7% penetration into the internal combustion engine market. That's 93% that Tesla still has to aim for. They don't need to compete with the likes of Rivian, Lucid, or these legacy auto electric vehicles. The only competition is coming from the internal combustion engine. And that's just not here in the United States. It's global. 66% internal combustion engines in China. And that's the most mature electric vehicle market in the world. So much more progress to go.
And from a Tesla standpoint, we obviously welcome this, and we're very excited to see that the big car companies are embracing electric vehicles. If you were to rewind their press releases to 5 years ago, that was not the case. But now, almost every major car company in the world has embraced electrification. This is really what we set out to do with Tesla. It was not to get maximum market share or anything. It was really try to show the auto industry that it was possible to go electric, and that if you made compelling electric cars, people would buy them. Also, when our competitors advertise for electric vehicles, every time they do that, our sales go up. So.
Facts. Before I bought my first Model 3, I watched the Super Bowl and saw 3 separate electric vehicle commercials from 3 separate companies. Did some research on the cars in the commercial and realized those cars weren't even available. A simple search for best electric vehicle you can get today, and I find myself at the Tesla website. The rest, as they say, is history.
Yeah. But we do, we have open sourced all our patents, so they can use our patents for free, and so we're helping out, and I think it's sort of a mutual prosperity thing, and it's good. Definitely don't want to count chickens until they're hatched, but I think we're tracking to have Model Y be the highest selling vehicle by revenue this year, and the highest by unit volume next year.
What? Are you telling me this man predicted the future? Model Y 2023 best-selling vehicle by any metric. Coincidence? I think not.
Still a lot of work to do. These factories don't just magically work. The rate of production is how fast can you solve the 10,000 problems, essentially. And we're solving them pretty fast, but a lot of work to do. And Yeah, we might be able to announce another factory location later this year.
Oh, GIGA Mexico. And while Austin will have the first next-gen vehicles coming out of its factory, it will be GIGA Mexico's production that is going to make analysts realize, holy smokes, they may get to 20 million.
Well, I think, you know, ultimately we'll end up building, I don't know, probably at least 10 or 12 gigafactories. And there will be really gigafactories, like output, you know, aiming for average output of like 1.5 to 2 million units per factory, which is enormous. Our Fremont factory in California is already the highest output factory in North America. Well, I think we'll have a friendly competition between Texas, California, Berlin. Shanghai is hard to beat, I have to say. Shanghai is our Shanghai team is just awesome. So they're
I imagine that's when one of your kids does something that actually surprises you and amazes you. I'm sure you love all your children equally, but sometimes...
With respect to, you know, sometimes you get this sort of, you know, these bogus attacks of like EVs are somehow worse than gasoline cars, which is not true. The average life cycle emissions of an EV are dramatically lower than that of a gasoline car. I'm kind of telling you things you already know. Now, this is a thing that I think is super cool. If you add up all the energy produced over the last 10 years by Tesla solar panels, it is more energy than was used to manufacture all of our cars and charge all of our cars at superchargers and at home. The mission of Tesla is to accelerate sustainability, and I think this is really amazing. You know, more energy produced than was used in making the car and charging them over billions of miles. Because the three elements of a sustainable energy future are sustainable energy production, primarily with solar and wind, and then stationary battery packs to store the sustainable energy because of its wind and solar are intermittent, and then electric transport. And if you have those three pillars, you have a fully sustainable future. And obviously, battery packs are very recyclable. You can think of it like high-grade ore. Do you want to, you know, crunch up a bunch of rocks or crunch up a battery pack, which is like super high-grade ore? So it's a no-brainer to recycle battery packs. So Tesla battery recycling is already underway, has been underway, and is scaling up. So Master Plan 3 is going to be fundamentally about scaling. And I think just articulating that and just making it clear that this is absolutely doable, and it is being done, and we just want it to be done as fast as possible.
And that's Master Plan Part 3 in a nutshell. Transitioning to a sustainable energy future is paramount to the success of our civilization. Skirmishes for finite resources, the increasing natural disasters that are occurring around the globe, something's got to change. And granted, it's not going to happen overnight. In the interim, we're going to need all forms of energy to make this transition possible. But transition, we must.
In addition to battery advancements and electronics advancements and AI, we've also done a lot to simplify the structure of cars to make it easier to manufacture. And one of the things we've done is create the largest castings that have ever been done. And they're very complex castings. And so we're able to take 171 pieces of metal and go from 171 pieces to 2. We've also improved the layout of the factory. So the factory is sort of a single, or close to a single monolithic factory with a very straightforward flow. Fremont, we do a lot in Fremont, but the flow is complex, and it's not an easy flow. So we're really rethinking the factory. Like the really long-term sustainable advantage of Tesla will be manufacturing. Everyone will have electric cars. All manufacturers will have electric cars. All cars will be self-driving. And the thing that will be hardest to replicate is Tesla's manufacturing technology. When thinking about the competitiveness of companies, especially if the companies are technology companies, I recommend looking at where the smartest engineers want to work. Just like if it's a pro sports team, where are the ace players going? Okay, probably that team will win. So we put a lot of effort into ensuring that the best engineers in the world want to work at Tesla. And
It goes without saying, the engineering talent at both Tesla and SpaceX is ridiculous. They can't hire them all. They get to weed out of all the engineers that want to work there and pick the tippy top, the best, the very, very best, brilliant minds that fit within the culture of their company. It's no wonder Tesla is running circles around everyone else in the automobile industry.
So there's a lot of interest in working at Tesla with 3 million job applications last year. Now, some people may occasionally have encountered a supercharger that didn't work, but in general, the uptime of our superchargers is extremely good. Because our superchargers are always connected, like the car is always connected, our feedback loop for fixing a supercharger is very quick. We're basically doubling our supercharger count every year. So if there isn't a supercharger in some place that you think is important, it probably will be there soon. Our cars are already the safest in the industry. So we have the lowest probability of injury of any cars ever tested by the US government. And we update this in real time. So because our cars are connected, this is a big difference. All the other cars, with rare exception, are not connected. So the manufacturers don't really know what happened in a crash. But in the case of Tesla, we are able to look at crashes and see how can we improve the safety and improve how the seat belts tension and how the airbags deploy. So in these updates, if we figure out, oh, there's a slightly better way to deploy the airbags to improve the safety in a crash, we'll actually do an over-the-air update to improve the way that the airbags deploy or the way that the seatbelt pre-tensions. And we're now starting to include our Tesla Autopilot AI to be able to see if a crash is about to occur. And if it sees that a crash is about to occur with 99+% probability, then it will activate the seatbelt pretensioners and deploy the airbags, as opposed to what the vast majority of cars do is the vast majority of cars are only able to deploy airbags when the crash is happening.
One of the few things that gives me peace of mind when Yosh-chan is on the dangerous streets of Houston, Texas, is that she is in one of the safest vehicles that she could possibly be in. Initially, that wasn't the reason I chose to buy a Tesla, but it is very good after the fact. So much peace of mind knowing that Tesla cares this much about safety.
We're also seeing FSD beta grow very rapidly, and this is definitely going to go very exponential in miles driven. So we're now at over 40 million miles, and I suspect by the end of this year we'll be, I don't know, well over 100 million miles. I'm sort of surprised that people, or at least like analysts out there, are not really understanding the importance of the Optimus robot. My guess is Optimus will be more valuable than the car long term. In fact, it will, I think, turn the whole notion of what's an economy on its head.
Doesn't surprise me that analysts aren't getting the implication. Rooted in tempered expectations and skepticism, that's their job. Now, my timetable for Optimus being useful in any meaningful way, somewhere around 2027 is what I had pegged in my evaluation models. But given the rate of Optimus, I've moved that up a couple of years to 2025. I mean, you gotta be You couple the functionality of this robot, I mean, it's doing things that I didn't think a robot would be able to do at this stage of the game. Pair that with the FSD software, we've seen Optimus handle eggs, fold a shirt, dance. What I really want to see it do is walk a dog. Will it be able to put a leash on an animal and then walk it around the neighborhood? When will it be able to do the dishes? I have no doubt that it will be able to do these things. The only real question is, when?
So the next decade, I wonder how many cars we'll have in 10 years. 10 years ago, we had less than 3,000 cars. Now we've made 3 million. I'd say 100 million is pretty doable. I'd be surprised if it's not over 100 million in 10 years. And then many other products, some of which you've heard about, some of which you have not.
And that wraps up Elon Musk's presentation at the 2022 annual shareholders meeting. We'll save the coveted Q&A portion for the next Tesla Throwback Thursday. Professor Hustle's office hours are in the comments below. Be easy. Peace.